What's up, YouTube? 2026 is here and it is time to get out into the yard. The snow is finally melted away. And man, what a crazy winter. I don't know what your winter was like, but here in the Midwest, we got hammered with snow. We had really cold temperatures. My sump pump drain was full of ice. It is finally freeing up and starting to trickle out. So thank goodness for that. Check your sump pump drain outlets if you have those, because a lot of people's froze up because of the cold temperatures. Anyway, we are out in the yard, but I know that if you're like me, you're chomping at the bit to put stuff down on the lawn. But before you do that, you need to just take a beat and figure out what you can take off of the lawn. And that's going to be just a simple yard cleanup, because it's important to help your lawn get a head start. You want to make sure that you are preparing your lawn for the growing season, to give it a head start for that lush green growth, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm just going to pick up all the branches and sticks and everything that fell from the tree. Make sure that there's nothing out there that's going to create issues for my mower. I'm going to get the mower blade sharpened. I do that in the first of the growing season, the very beginning, and then I'll sharpen it again kind of midway, maybe June, July, somewhere in that time frame. I'll sharpen it again for the second half of the year. You want to make sure you keep that blade sharp, especially as you are doing the initial mows, because this is really just going to help get your lawn on a jump start that much faster. Because who doesn't want to have the greenest lawn first? I know I do, because I'm obsessed. But as far as the cleanup is going, we want to make sure that after we get the sticks up, we're going to go around and clean up all the leaves, whether those were leaves that blew in from other people's yards or what was remaining in the trees that fell down on the lawn. We want to make sure that those are off the lawn, because again, it's about making sure that we have proper airflow in the lawn, so that number one, it can dry out. With all that snow that melted, there's a lot of moisture down in the soil. And that moisture, as the temperatures start to heat up and the soil starts to heat up, that's going to create potential disease issues. So we want to make sure that we minimize that as much as possible, and airflow is the way to do that. So getting the leaves off so that we don't create pockets of any sort of improper airflow. And with that snow that fell down and all that heavy snow that was sitting on the lawn, it matted some of the areas in the lawn, right? So we want to make sure that any of the matted areas, I'm going to go around and I'm going to rake those matted areas up. So a couple of things to point out with the lawn. First of all, we've got these matted areas that I was referring to, and you can see that there's some slight damage to the lawn. This actually is a very mild case of snow mold, and what's nice about this is that you can see the crown through the damaged leaves. So when you kind of go down there and you look at the actual grass blade itself and you start to push away and you can expose the crown, the fact that the crown is green is going to really help with the lawn recovery. This is something that is not something to worry about. We'll just go through here and rake this, and you're going to see an improvement just from raking it. So this is definitely not something that I experienced in the backyard with the snow mold that I experienced last year. This is definitely a much milder case of it. If you saw the video from last spring, I actually had snow mold. I had a really bad snow mold in the backyard. I think that there's probably 2 or 3 reasons why that happened, but I think the number one of those 3 things that I suspect is going to be, I did a fall nitrogen blitz at the end of 2024, and then when the 2025 season kicked in, I had this really bad mold. Take a look at this. This was the spring of 2025. Once the snow melted, this was immediately visible in the lawn. That is no longer there. I recovered from that in about 6 weeks. And then in 2025, I went out and I had a strong plan as far as my fungicide applications, just to do some preventative fungicide. And I even skipped a fungicide application in the fall that I planned to do before it got too cold, and just missed the window, but I was still okay. So I don't really think it was a lack of fungicide, because this was the first time that I was really severely impacted by snow mold. And granted, I didn't really use fungicide much over the years. I did start using that in like 2024. I've never really had a problem with snow mold. The only thing that changed for me drastically was that fall nitrogen blitz that I did in 2024. So I'm pretty convinced that too much nitrogen on my lawn created the snow mold. If you had that problem, it's the same as just raking matted grass. You're going to rake those snow mold areas and be careful about nitrogen. In the areas that you have snow mold, just be aware that you probably want to back off on the nitrogen in those areas just to allow the grass to recover and to fill in there. So over on this side, you can see that there's a much more significant appearance. There's definitely a lot more yellowing in this area. And this is because this is a high foot traffic area where my wife gets in and out of her vehicle. So because of the fact that this lawn was vulnerable during the cold temperatures and receiving a lot of foot traffic, it's stressed out a lot more. But the good news is that when you look down into the top of the grass, you can see that it's actually, there's some green in there. So I would anticipate that this is going to have some decent recovery. There's really no need to do any sort of overseed in this area. It's just going to be a matter of making sure that it's getting proper water. And I'll probably do a little bit of some aeration in here just to help create some room for the root growth and things like that. Again, because this is a high traffic area, you get a little bit more soil compaction in there. So I'm not too worried about that. I think it will recover. I was having a lot of issues with this section that turns out because I had POA in this area. So I would guess that I'm going to be fighting a little bit of POA as well. And that'll be something I'll be focusing on. But you'll see that once we start to rake this area, because the crown is intact and it's still living and green, it's actually going to be probably in decent shape after we rake. So let's see the before and after on that. You can actually see just visually, instantly, raking through the areas and how it pretty much just instantly increases the green color. Now I believe that some of that is probably pulling off some of that dead organic material, but I mean, look how quickly that improved just from raking that area. And when you look at it and get a closer shot, you can actually see down into this area just how healthy it is in there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up going over the entire lawn and taking care of any of the matted areas. Just finish that up and then we will show you the final result. I'm raking in different directions as well. So when you rake an area, you know, the grass may be laying to one particular direction, but the reality is, especially if it was matted by snow, it's going to probably go in different directions. So it's important to just kind of rake in different directions. You want the grass to stand up so that you allow airflow to come in there and help it dry out as well as fight disease. And so that's ultimately what you're trying to accomplish at this point in the season, guys. You just want to get out there and try to give your lawn the best opportunity possible in the beginning of the growing season, so that once things do kick in, it's really about what you're putting down and how you're cutting the lawn and all of that. So thanks for watching, guys. I can't wait to share some more things with you. I'm really going to try my best to try to get out there and capture more content and share my journey with you and kind of let you know what's working for me. Thank you so much for everyone that subscribed. Thank you for all the comments and the input that you guys are sharing with your experiences. And I will see you in the next one. The next video is going to be about pre-emergent and putting that down. So be sure you tune into that. Don't do it yet. We will have a video that will tell you the best time to do it. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one.